Awesome. Well, I am John.
Hi, I'm Emily.
Emily, what do you do, Emily?
I'm in charge of curriculum and instruction for the district.
Awesome. Okay. Well, we have about 10 minutes to talk about something that you're working on. So, is there any particular goal you have for our conversation today?
So I could really use some help around how to be more efficient with my workday.
Okay, how to be more efficient with your workday.
Yeah.
All right, so can you tell me a little bit more about that? Why do you think your workday is not efficient?
Because I rarely get things done here and have to do most of them at home.
Okay. So is there anything here you think that's preventing you from getting those things done? Or?
Do I have a limit to how many of those I get done? Okay. So I often get pulled off by the email volume that comes in throughout the day.
Okay.
And there's a lot of meetings that I attend.
Okay. So can you tell me, if you were able to design your perfect day, where you got all your work done, what would it look like?
So I would be able to keep my inbox down into maybe just the double digits instead of triples. That I would be able to clear some of the things off of my to-do list instead of making my to-do list longer at the end of the day than it was at the beginning of the day.
Okay. Can you describe what your to-do list looks like? Do you do any kind of, use any kind of system, or?
No, I think that's what I really could use some help around, thinking about a system.
Okay.
I might better use that time.
Okay. So I'm hearing 3 things are impacting your day, maybe? Email, managing email, some kind of system to organize your to-do list, and then meetings. So how would meetings fit into your ideal day?
I would have very few of them, but
Okay.
that's the nature of this work. So they would be, I would have meetings, but there would be protected time when I would not have meetings.
Okay. All right. So you would still have to reach those outcomes that are related to the meetings. Are there other ways to get to those outcomes that don't require meetings?
So I'm not always in control of that schedule. I get a lot of invited to meetings.
Okay. All right. Is there any criteria to why you're being invited?
My job title.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is there a way, if you're being invited to these meetings, how could we help you feel like those were effective uses of your time so you could cross things off your to-do list?
Oftentimes when I go to meetings, that is what adds to my to-do list instead of reducing it. At the meeting, another assignment piece is added.
Okay. And then, does anything happen to your old assignments, or they just stay there?
No, they're still there.
Okay. All right. So who's in charge of making sure, when your to-do list, when you check things off, who do you tell? Anybody?
No.
No? So is there any consequence for these new assignments that are given you? How do you decide what the priority is for these things?
I think that's some things I could use some help around, is
Okay.
helping with the priorities.
All right. So it sounds to me like many busy people, you have lots of email that comes in throughout the day. You have meetings that you have to attend because of your job. And then from that, you have to figure out how to prioritize what to do when.
Yes.
So as you're thinking about these things, are any of those more of a concern for you than others?
No, I think they're all of a similar importance.
Okay. Does one of them take more time than others?
The meeting time takes the most.
Okay. So, how does it make you feel when you have to go to these meetings and it adds to your list? What does that do to you, when you go back to your desk?
So that's part of, I think, where I then spin in the inefficiency of recovering from. Yes. Yeah, I feel overwhelmed and sometimes frustrated that I'm not necessarily in control of that schedule.
Okay. So let's say you have a meeting this afternoon, you go to that meeting and you come back and you don't feel overwhelmed. What would it look like at your desk when you come back to it?
I don't really know.
Yeah? Okay.
I don't experience that very often.
Okay, yeah, well, that's very fair. So, Are there strategies you've tried in the past that I should know about for like managing email, prioritizing tasks, or anything like that?
No, I think that's one of the things I could use some help thinking about,
Okay.
or some resources to learn ways to maybe do that.
All right. Do you know anybody who does it well?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, who do you
Yeah.
know that does it well?
This team that works right here does that fairly well.
Do you know what they do?
So they do a lot of things with technology to
Okay.
manage some of those things.
And do you feel comfortable with the technology doing those things?
Some of them,
Some of
yeah.
them.
There's some tips and tricks that they share at times. Like I didn't know about the to-do list piece and that was a better way than writing them on pieces of paper. At least now I have it sort of as a running thing on my computer all the time.
Okay, but you feel comfortable going to your computer and retrieving maybe a task list for a calendar?
Yeah.
Or...
Oh, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right. So, have you considered using many, like there are different, I remember the daily planner people used to come out, the Franklin Covey people, they have a process for prioritizing and ordering. Have you ever investigated any of those kinds of things?
I have not.
Okay. Would you be willing to investigate?
Absolutely.
Well, if I was your coach and we were going to be here, I was going to be here, I might bring in some samples of how different to-do list schemes are set up, and maybe ask you to look at them and review them. And then meantime, I might ask you to think about what do you feel comfortable doing on your computer to get that done. So when they tell you that they have a to-do list, do you know what they're using for that? Google Keep or?
So I have Google Keep and Google Tasks are the two I'm talking about with
So
the to-do list. I
yeah.
learned that from them.
And is that going okay?
It is a way for me to keep my ever-evolving task list
Good.
in front of me, yes.
But in order to
Where instead of
prioritize
in
it.
multiple different places. So now I
Okay.
have it gathered,
All right.
but helping prioritize which of those.
So it sounds to me like you have the tools to at least keep the list going. You have the tools for the email. It might benefit us exploring some like email routines, like you only answer email at certain times of the day, and maybe even letting people know that you only answer email at certain times of the day. And once they get used to that, maybe they don't email you as often. And maybe looking at some different systems like Franklin Covey, which you sit down at the night before and you determine the things you're going to do the next day and prioritize them and order them. But those things we could look at. I strongly encourage you to think about.
Absolutely, I already have that one filed away.
Okay.
I'll be doing that later today.
All right. Is there anything? And you feel comfortable with the technology? So, and so we don't need to worry about like any basic training and technology stuff. Is there anything that you feel like you want to do between now and somebody coming back to work with you, whether it's me or somebody else?
So I'm going to investigate what you just said, the Franklin Covey piece, and look at that. But I would appreciate the next time we meet, if you had some other ideas, bringing them in, we could talk through them and
Right.
see if that is feasible or
Okay.
checking back in would be really helpful.
Okay. My suggestion might be to think about trying one first and see if it does or doesn't work.
Okay.
Before overloading you with a bunch of
Okay.
different ideas. So was this conversation helpful at all?
Very.
For
Yeah,
what?
it actually was, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, at Franklin Covey, I hadn't thought about that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
If we were to have this conversation again, is there something else we should do to make it even better?
Maybe I would bring my task list and we could take a look at it together.
That's an excellent idea.
Yeah.
So next
Or my
time-
calendar, and we
Yeah.
could take a look and see.
Maybe
Maybe
next
another
time-
perspective will help me with
Mhm.
unpiling some things.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, appreciate it. I didn't make that up.